Hey, Guru Nation, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. It really means a lot to me. Today's video is a request from somebody, and request from somebody on YouTube, by the way. So you can just leave your comment. It's going to probably help not only yourself, but others and me, because I need to know what kind of content to make. So the person said, hey, can you do thank you for the video on all the monitoring visits explained from the perspective of a CRA. Can you do one monitoring visit at a time from the perspective of a site? And really, the perspectives are, the perspectives are different, but what happens obviously is the same, right? Both the CRC and the CRA coexist at the monitoring visits. So today I'm doing an SIV from the perspective of a coordinator, but also it helps if you're a CRA that's wanting to learn or brush up on maybe what happens at a SIV, site initiation visit, from a practical perspective. So I just had one of these visits at my site, Yuma Clinical Trials, and I'm going to read from the confirmation letter because this is basically what you do during the visit as a site or as a CRA. So the following items will be discussed, and this was a SIV, site initiation visit, in person. It took about 4 hours, probably 3 hours, but they're usually between 4 to 6. And mine took, I want to say, closer to 4. So they only need about a half an hour of the PI's time. And then the rest of the time is coordinator and CRA working together, working hand in hand. And because we were working together very efficiently, my CRA and myself, there's a video of me interviewing her actually on my channel. It was quicker than, I guess, average. So the first thing is the protocol. The protocol is discussed, the most recent version. Then also the investigator brochure is discussed. They're there, the CRA is there to answer any of the PI's questions regarding the protocol or regarding the investigator brochure. If the CRA doesn't have the answers, they ask the sponsor, CTM, somebody who's going to get back to the PI. Then they go over the PI's responsibilities. So this is all, so far, all these three things are where the PI needs to be there. Good clinical practice and their responsibilities as far as to their patients and then to the IRBs as well. So then the rest of the stuff is spent with the coordinator. They review the site's equipments and facilities. So make sure you got calibration logs for everything. Make sure you have your IATA certs, your GCP certs, temperature logs for the drug. All those things are going to be looked at and collected. Then they talk about enrollment, early term withdrawal of subjects, what you should do as per the protocol. They go through safety reporting, adverse events, serious adverse events, SUSAR, pregnancy, emergency unblinding. This bullet point's actually for the PI as well. Then, mainly for the coordinator, they discuss the IRB reporting timelines and requirements. They discuss the informed consent form procedures and requirements. They will actually ask you for a copy of your informed consent SOP. They then are going to look at your source documentation and record retention. Even though there is no source yet, you haven't seen a patient yet for this study. They want to make sure, okay, where are the source going to be kept? In our case, it's electronically. Okay, do you have documentation for this? Is it in accordance with Alcoa? Luckily for us, CREO has certificates and I forgot what they call it, but they have basically documentation for all these things that they're asking. Then they ask for sites' electronic medical records. How does it work with monitoring? In our case, we print the EMRs. The PI will sign it, and then we upload it into CREO. So the CRA does not have direct access to the EMR. The CRA will have direct access to our eSource, which is CREO, and it will have everything in there. Another thing is enrollment goals and timelines. So they're going to ask you when you think you can screen your first patient. For us, it's ASAP. We actually, this SIV was 2 weeks ago, and I think we might screen this week if we're lucky. Investigational product. During the SIV, we didn't actually receive our IP yet. and we didn't receive lab kits, but we'll get to that. I actually did a video on what you do when you receive as a site when you receive investigational product. I did like a 4-minute video on that. You log into the IRT and you make sure it's all there, and then you send back some forms to the vendor and another one to your CRA. So the IP wasn't there during the SIV, so we didn't do much of that other than look at the temperature logs and the IP storage area. Then the CRA gets into what happens should a protocol deviation occur. How do you document that? Then they get into the EDC. For this study, I still do not have EDC access. EDC access and IRT access, which IRT, just think of it as IWRS. It's basically the same thing. You can screen a patient, randomize a patient, assign drug at each of their visits. You can also withdraw a patient, screen fail a patient. And for this study, luckily, the same system is used to receive investigational product and log it in. And also the same system is used for electronic data capture. So that's good. The bad news is I still don't have access to it. Matter of fact, I'm trying to work on that today. I sent an email to the sponsor to see what's happening. Then they get into the electronic patient reported outcomes. So these are the diaries for the patients. They're going to have to download an app for their phone and create or answer questions. These are called patient reported outcomes. So how do you keep them? How do you train them to use it? It's supposedly very straightforward. And again, this diary app also comes on the same portal as my EDC and IRT, so I don't have access to that either. So until we get that, we actually can't screen. Investigator site file, including all logs and forms. We have the ISF there, the regulatory binder, and we also have it electronically for our site. Then they get into the central labs. How do you collect, process, ship, report? Same thing for the PK labs. Same thing for another test that they're doing, which I can't mention, but it's a simple one. Then the facilities, including equipment, ECG, things like that. Source document worksheets. So they want to know, where is this particular source document going to be? Where is this one going to be? Where is this one? They're basically all in Creo for us, so it's very easy. Then they go through if you've been part of any audits, inspections, anything like that. And then, did you execute the fully executed contract and budget? So the answer for that was yes. So what's still pending for us, from my perspective, I got all the signatures. We got all the training logs. I actually got all the staff who were not in attendance of the SIV trained. I trained them. So the sub-by and 2 of the coordinators, we trained them on the most recent version of the protocol. So then they signed the SIV training log. So the ISF's ready to go. I'm just missing IRT, EDC, and the patient reported outcomes website portal login info. Hopefully I can get that today. We're in the process of creating the source in Creo so that we can start hopefully screen patient this week. So that's from the perspective of a CRC, but also, as you can see, it's the same thing from the CRA side. It's just the CRA needs to make sure the site's doing it, and the site needs to make sure also that they're doing it really for different reasons. The site wants to screen so they can start getting paid, so they can start randomizing and start getting paid. And the CRA wants to make sure the site has access to all this so they can document that they did their job and everything's done. So they're mutually aligned incentives. In this case, everybody's looking to get started quickly, and just wanted to go through a SIV from the Clunger Research Coordinator perspective. Hopefully it helps whether you're a CRC or CRA. Talk to you soon, Guru Nation. Bye-bye.